Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Cage Talk. Today, my guest is the general manager of Xtreme Couture and was coach of the year in 2020. We have Eric Nicksick. How you doing today, sir?
Well, Alex, how are you, brother?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's going. The way why I'm like freezing to death is because I'm in Texas, and apparently Texas it's freezing. It's freezing out. It's weird. It's the weirdest shit.
What? We're at in Texas.
Dallas. I know you were in Austin, right?
Yeah, I was just out in Austin, man. It was nice. It was nice weather. I don't know. That's crazy.
Well, yeah. When you went last week, right?
I was there on Monday.
Yeah. See, we got hit. I think it was like Thursday. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even this Monday. I think Monday is gonna be like the lowest it's ever been in Texas since like the fucking 1800s. I think it's gonna be like 2. Like it's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts.
That's nuts, bro. I was gonna say, what is it, like 68? What do you?
No, man. Right. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now what it is. So you don't think I'm a vagina? Hold on. It's fucking. All right. Hold on. So you know what it is. All right. Rock wall. Weather. It's 24 out. It's 24.
24.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cold for Dallas, Texas, bro. I would have never guessed that.
Exactly. You understand? It happened I think it happened yesterday. There was did you see that on the news? 100 car pileup.
Saw that.
Yep.
Saw that. Man.
People don't know.
Fort Worth, huh?
Yep. Fort Worth, Dallas area, man. People, again, they haul ass over here, and they don't care if it's raining. So obviously, they don't know how to deal with ice. So it's crazy out here.
Yeah, you do that in Vegas, we're all screwed, bro. Any down here, we're fucked.
But let's talk a little bit about your trip to Austin and stuff. I know, again, you coach a lot of UFC fighters and stuff like that, and fighters from Bellator and stuff like that. Can you give us a couple of names that people know or people that you train?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm pretty damn busy, so I'll just go through the guys that are fighting the closest. So I got Maki Pitolo fighting tomorrow. Then we got Joe Benavidez, Aljamain Sterling. That'll be March 6th. Danny Ige, March 13th. Francis Ngannou, obviously. And then, I just got done cornering Brad Tavares, Dalsha Limbala, and then Puna Hele Soriano out in Fight Island. My Bellator guys consist of Jeremy Kennedy, and then I have Tyke Warder, some really good up-and-coming guys. Jeremy's been around for a while. He's fought for the UFC, PFL, and now Bellator. So, some really good guys, top to bottom, all around. The gym's always packed full of great people. The training's always great here. So, the nice thing, man, in a time where I know a lot of people aren't being able to work, it's nice to stay busy. So it's a blessing for me.
Yeah, definitely, man. And especially – I mean, you must be. What's your schedule like? Because again, you're going to Austin, you're going here, then you had a quarantine, then you have to go. Like, what's that schedule like? Especially being a GM as well.
And it's kind of just like you just parachute, you just jump out of the plane, just hope your fucking chute opens. So yeah, it's a crazy day for me. I actually like to try to prepare my day the night before. So when I wake up, it's not like I'm kind of scrambling. I have an idea of who, what, when, and where. And then I also want to know if I'm not with you, what you're doing. So, I'm not like holding you accountable, but at the same time, I just know what your schedule looks like. So I know today Francis is doing strength and conditioning at 9 a.m. I know Dan Ige is doing his strength and conditioning at 10 a.m. I know where all my guys are at and what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And that's important to me just to understand what their workload is like throughout the day. And same with mine. We all have busy jobs, and understanding that schedule, I think, is part of the priorities.
Definitely. So when you get them, like when they start to fight camp, you kind of have from like A to Z, exactly what they're gonna do within that period of time.
Absolutely. So when we get a fight lined up, the first thing we do is we sit in my office and we just go over a mock schedule. We write down a schedule. Just like you would do like any rough draft. We'll look at the schedule, what they want, what I want, and then we'll kind of take apart and look at, add, take away. But at the end of the day, it has to be something that the fighter's comfortable with. you know, and then it's that the coach is comfortable with that we're not overworking them. So, you know, it's a give and take there. You know, I think that's kind of how we prioritize it. These guys are professionals. They understand what they need. But, you know, as a coach, there's things too that I also make sure that we have to add in. So, you know, we do that. We do that as a team. We sit down and break it down.
Gotcha. And what's the shortest, say like you get like a short fight camp, you know, sometimes it happens like that, especially nowadays, right? With COVID and stuff, you have fighters pulling out because they're sick and stuff. And then say one of your fighters, you know, decides to take that fight. How's that game plan, you know, from something so short? And what's the shortest notice you ever had before on a fight?
You know, we've had guys with 1 day, 2 day notices getting in the UFC. Okay. Gustavo Lopez, Justin James, you know, those guys got in on literally like having to cut 15, 20 pounds. But thankfully for me, I've been at Xtreme Couture for 14 years. I've been around some really great fighters that have taught me the ways. Jay Heron, Mike Pyle. But Jay Heron would always tell us, you know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that saying always kind of stuck with me because he always stayed in shape and he always wanted to be within shot of making weight in case that phone call happened. And that's professionalism at its finest, you know, and Jay was in my opinion, one of the best to do it and one of the pioneers of the sport. So we always just try to follow Jay's lead and example he tried to set. So for my young guys and my up and coming guys, you know, opportunity knocks, man, and it might only knock once. So you better be ready to kick in that fucking door, you know? So it's very important to make sure that you're ready to go.
Gotcha. I remember Jay Heron. That's a old school name drop. Again, I'm all about the new UFC, like not the new UFC, but like I got brought up on fighters like in the back, like Chris Lieben, you know, Jamie Varner. I mean, Chris Lytle. Those are the ones when I started coming up watching UFC and what got me into mixed martial arts. You know, like those.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Lieben and his pedigree, kind of his lineage shines through Xtreme Couture, being a Team Quest guy. You know. Yep. The way Lieben fought and the way he trained and all that stuff, you know, his lineage kind of runs through all this Xtreme Couture roots for sure.
Yeah, I had him on and he explained the early days of Team Quest. I had Matt Lindland as well, and he explained his background. And I mean, that's what my podcast is, you know, mostly about. It's just getting a little bit more of the information on the fighters on their side, not more just the business side, but them as a human being. I mean, we saw the Joe Rogan, I mean, with Francis. I mean, everyone kind of opened their eyes and were like, wow, like this fucking guy is super humble, but he's such a beast though. And that's scary. That's really scary.
Yeah, he's one of the best human beings you're ever going to meet. And he just so happens to be the baddest man on the planet. But he also has one of the biggest hearts you're ever going to find. And, you know, he's part of my family. You know, my family loves him like he's their uncle or a brother. Mm-hmm. And that's the environment that I like to try to set. You know, I want my family to be involved and understand where the time that they're not taking, I'm taking time away from my family.
Yeah.
So when these fighters are getting my time, I want my family to understand where that time goes, you know, and it's important because they're just as invested as I am.
Definitely. It's a working relationship. I mean, it's almost like, you know, like someone dating someone, like it has to work both ways. It can't just work one side's working harder than the other because it's not, at the end of the day, it's not going to work out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. That's cool. And again, the Joe Rogan thing, I mean, everyone loved it. I listened to it a little bit. I'm not on Spotify because I'm not like that. I like the YouTube thing. So I get bits and pieces when someone like puts a clip and stuff like that. But how was that experience and meeting Joe and just like letting Francis, you know, one of your fighters, you know, explain his story and his origins and stuff like that, man?
I mean, I thought it was beautiful. You know, I thought the whole experience was great. You know, I went out there with him just to kind of be a backup and help him out. And I wanted to make sure he got his training in while we're out there. You know, we're right in the middle of a fight camp. So just being together and kind of that time, I think, is always important. And then watching him go on Joe and just shine. He did a great job. He did 2.5 hours, actually flew by, you know, and we were about to miss our flight. We had to cut it short and get out of there. But, you know, I think it was important for him to share his story at this juncture where we're at in fight camp. I think it makes people realize, like, who the human is behind Francis and what he's been through in his life that we all see. So it gives us a lot of points of emphasis when you come down to, like, the days when you're tired and you want to push a little harder and you just don't know where to dig that energy out of. it's pretty simple with Francis and where to find that connection of, hey, bro, we got to push. You know, you went through all this shit to get here, not to stumble at the finish line. We got to run through that motherfucker, you know? Yeah. So his attitude, man, since I've met him, you know, I've known Francis, you know, not a long time, but I've known Francis for quite a while now. I started coaching him about 2 fights ago, but he's always been in and out of Xtreme Couture, but now he's more home here. Okay. So I think that his comfortability and being able to open up and be a little bit vulnerable at times, I think has been important for him, because I think it's relieved a lot of pressure off him, and hence why you're seeing him perform the way he does. Yeah, definitely. And again, if he hadn't had fans before that, I mean, he's gotten a great following, because everyone loves that story. You know, that it's almost like a Cinderella story. Everyone's rooting for that. And I mean, I seen it before, like he was a good fighter, but just now you have that extra piece to go along. It just makes everything full circle, makes everything better, man. I couldn't agree more. So, talking about Xtreme Couture and how you landed that, I had a buddy of mine. He coached. I believe he still coaches. Tim Lane. Awesome guy. We text from now and then. He was on my show as well. Super. If you want to get any more positive, man, I just need him in my corner when I'm having a shitty day. And he just, like, any negative shit, he just, like, blocks it off, man. He's such a humble, nice guy. Yeah, he's been through some shit, man. I get that guy's. He's always his personality, his attitude is always contagious. You know, he's always having a good day, even when he's not. Man, he comes in here with a smiling face and, you know, make sure that he exudes that to the rest of his clients and the people he surrounds himself with. Yeah, definitely. So I think I have a picture of Eric that he sent me. Where the fuck is it? Right there. The white one right there. Right under it. Oh, yeah. I see it. Yeah. Yeah, he sent that to me. But, okay. Bring the pain lane. Yeah, bring the pain lane, man. He's a good guy. So let's talk about you, man. I want to hear about your story now. How'd you get this gig? What were you initially wanting to be a mixed martial artist, and then you kind of went the other way, or you were always in that business aspect? No, you know, I actually, you know, I got done playing college ball. Okay. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I would say extracurricular activity. I was going to school. I was going to just finish my EMT. I was going into paramedic school. I just tested for the fire department. I got hired on by 2 agencies out here, City of North Las Vegas and then City. And then started training over here, mainly because, you know, I just felt like I lacked the camaraderie. I lacked the team. I missed that environment. Mm-hmm. And so Randy was just getting ready for the Tim Sylvia fight. The gym wasn't open quite yet. So I actually just kind of stumbled across the gym with a mutual friend of mine and just asked, like, hey, when you guys open? And these guys were all training already. So they just let me start coming in before the gym doors really even opened, and they just beat the shit out of me, you know? So, and I just kept coming back. I loved it. I loved just trying to learn, man. So, you know, it was really Mike Pyle was the first guy that I met here. And, you know, Mike would just kick the living shit out of me and then invite me back the next day and do it again. And, you know, and I just keep coming back and trying to learn more and more. And that's kind of where I fell in, man. It wasn't much of like, hey, I want to be this pro fighter. I want to come into this career. Mm-hmm. I just missed the team and I missed the camaraderie aspect. And this is what that gym served for me. As time went on, you know, I actually became a little bit more talented. I started to understand things more as far as just the grappling game went. Mm-hmm. I got offered my first coaching position here 1 year in. So I was here for about a year, and then I got a grappling position, coach position. It basically was like 1 class a week. And then that class really started to take off. You know, I was always had coaching in my heart or in my roots is through my dad and my uncle. I coached a little high school football when I got out of college. So I felt like coaching was going to be some sort of area that I would be in. You know, I got offered a couple fights coming up, and, you know, it was never really a priority to me. So when I asked my wife, I actually got offered to fight Ryan Bader. Oh, shit. Yeah. So there was a local show here in Vegas that my best friend was on, and my head coach, Dennis Davis. So mm-hmm. Dennis Davis, old Team Quest guy, he still is. He's still my head coach. But so Dennis was fighting on that card, and the promoter comes in and watches us training. And he was like, hey, man, did you ever think about fighting? I got an opponent for you. And I was like, I knew Ryan Bader through football. Yeah, through Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's a big old kid, man. Like, oh, so I go home and I asked my wife, I was like, hey, they want me to fight Ryan Bader for like $2,000. And she was like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, no. I was in the middle of school. I was getting paid good money. I was taken care of. Everything was fine. So she's like,
That's no need. That's what
there's
she
no
said.
need for you to go get your fucking neck broken for $2,000. And she probably saved my life. She would have killed me, So, but I always stayed in the gym, man. I always stayed training. And then really for me, bro, it was just kind of understanding how to broaden my fight IQ. What do I need to do to become better? And honestly, like, this is a sport that kind of just took over for me. I fell in love with it, and I just submerged myself in it. I have the luxury of having guys like Ray Sefo here, Martin Campman, the guys that were here. I would just pick their brain constantly. So, and that's why I started learning how to hold pads. I would bug Ray, one of the best kickboxers of all time. Ray, let me learn how to hold pads for you. So I would see these coaches come in and they would consider themselves as specialty coaches, right? Like, oh, I'm a jiu-jitsu coach, I'm a wrestling coach, I'm a boxing coach, and that's it. Well, to me, I felt like the niche that we needed was an MMA coach. I got to be good at all this stuff, So Coach Follis used to make us learn how to wrap hands and be better here, be better there. So now when you go on the road, you don't need to bring 3 guys. You can bring 1 guy who can do it all.
Yep.
And that saves the fighter a lot of money. It saves the promotion a lot of money, so you don't have to bring all these guys and mouths to feed and hotels to put them up in. So that was kind of my angle. I felt like I want to be really, really fucking good at all this stuff, man. So it motivated me. I ended up getting a gym manager position, I think about 8 years ago now. So okay. I've been gym manager for quite a while. And we just had a vision of what we wanted to become. We set a standard, and we set that standard high. And now, I feel like everything's kind of, the snowball effect has been rolling in, and we won Gym of the Year from the Schmo publication. The
That's
Coach
awesome.
of the Year stuff. I think the Coach of the Year thing is synonymous with Gym of the Year. If you ask me, I'm not any good without the people that I'm surrounded with, and the fighters. If they're not winning, that accolade doesn't come our way. So we that's an accomplishment I think we all got, and a rising tide raises all ships. That Coach Foss used to always tell us.
Definitely. But still, to have that, even to be TNT be recommended and given to you, regardless of who it is, it's probably a hell of an accomplishment. Again, Coach of the Year. That's awesome, man.
It was nice, man. I got Coach of the Year by MMA Junkie and by Bloody Canvas. So I got 2 publications. I was blown away, man. Meant the absolute world to me. But it really meant more to my family, because they know how hard I work and the time that they sacrifice and stuff. So bringing that award home really meant a lot of validation to me to bring home for the wife and kids,
Yeah, definitely, man. Again, and you just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing excellent. You're doing awesome. Again, that's really good to hear. And quick question about Abu Dhabi. How's the whole process? Because I've seen people on social media and stuff. It looks like it's kind of a pain in the ass. They look like they have it together, but just the fact that you have to quarantine before you get there, you do I think it's like 20-hour flight, then you quarantine there and you can't leave, and it seems like it could be kind of hectic.
Yeah. So I guess there's a little bit of silver lining in some of that stuff, right? Where being local, being in Vegas, I get a quarantine at home.
Okay, perfect.
Whereas let's say like if you're at ATT or another outside gym, you would have to fly from Florida to Vegas, quarantine here for 2 days, then jump on the plane and fly back to Abu Dhabi, So once we pass COVID protocols here, we're able to get on a plane. It's about a 16-hour flight. We get there. It's direct. The fighters get business class. Certain fighters will get first class, and then us coaches get ass class. So we're in the back. But usually depending on how full the flight is, you'll have either like a row. Hopefully you'll have the whole row. Fight Island 1, I had a row of 4. So basically able to lay down and sleep, so it wasn't that bad, to be quite honest with you. And once you get there, you're on a 48-hour quarantine, mandatory in your room. This trip, I actually had my own room. So, cause I was there for 16 days. So UFC was gracious enough to give me my own room, which was nice. So, you're basically stuck in the hotel for 48 hours. You're stuck in the room. They bring you your food. Your you're doing push-ups and sit-ups and playing Call of Duty, man, and that's really it for
Damn,
so,
that's crazy.
Yeah, the hard part about this last trip was all the fight times were all different. So Puna fought at a different time than Dalsha, and Dalsha fought a different Brad. So what happens is for me as a coach, all my fighters are on different schedules. And so which means I'm trying to accommodate all these guys at different times, you know? So it's hard.
Right.
So you're catching like 3-4 hours of sleep. Then the next guy needs to train. So then you catch a couple hours of sleep when they're done. Then you need to eat. And then this guy wants to train, you know, and then not to mention I coach Paul Felder. So Felder's out there commentating. So then Felder wants to get his work in. So, you know, everybody's just kind of needs their, but hey man, that's a gig, man. That's the coaching gig. And, you know, if you don't like it, then this is not the sport for you to get into. But, you know, and that's why I love it, man. I love the hustle.
No, definitely, man. That sounds like a pain. Give me a second. My son's banging on the door. Hold on.
Go ahead, brother. You got it.
Sorry, he had to go to the bathroom. He's like knock on the door and stuff. Told him, yeah,
you gotta handle business, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just outside. Fuck it. He's 4. He's 4.
Yeah,
so
my guy's 4.
Yeah, man. He was just like, I was like, what's happening?
Oh, yeah.
And shit and stuff.
Come on outside, buddy.
Yeah, it's 26 degrees. Fall of the year. All right, you done? All right, go back inside, okay? I'll leave the door open, buddy. All right? You're cold. I know. Go inside.
Close it.
I'll close it now.
Why?
He wants to play in here.
What's up, little man?
Say hi, Ian.
What's up, buddy?
Just chilling. So what is your basically your plan for today? I mean, you had the fights tomorrow and stuff. Look at him, a ham, bro.
I love him, dude. That's great. Let him do his thing. Let him do it. That's the best part about this podcast, right? You gotta let him do his thing. I mean, I'm in the same boat, bro. But I have my little guy. Same thing. I'll be talking and he'll be running to the back and all that stuff.
But the funny thing is, like, he knows where the camera is, so he'll go directly behind me just to. But
yeah. So plan for the day. We had practice this morning at 9. You know, thankfully Maki doesn't have a whole lot of weight to cut. I plan on going into quarantine last night with him, and then he hit me up earlier yesterday. He's like, Coach, man, I only got like 5 pounds to go, so no need to come to the hotel and jump in quarantine. You know, spend the time with the family. He knows I'm busy, man. I got a lot of guys fighting coming up, so any practice I can be out or I can be here for the guys that are next up is important. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to head over to some exotic car place with Francis. The UFC wants to do like a little thing racing cars and stuff, and then I'll head over and jump in quarantine with Maki and the rest of the crew.
Nice, man. If I would walk around with Francis, I would pretend like he's my bodyguard and shit because he's ridiculous, man. This dude's huge.
That's what my 4-year-old does. My 4-year-old thinks that he's his bodyguard, and which kind of is, you know.
Yeah.
So, but my son has the baddest man on the planet as his bodyguard.
Look at that. That's awesome. But yeah, we'll close it now. I'm about to hang up. But I just want to say I want to thank you again for coming on, man. It's been a pleasure and honor, and thank you for your time, man. I know you're a busy person and stuff like that. I mean, your schedule is ridiculous and stuff. But I do appreciate you coming on, man, and talking.
My pleasure, man. I appreciate you reaching out. I'm glad to be able to do it, and hit me up anytime you need it.
Definitely, brother. All right. You have a nice day, man.
All right, Alex. Take care, buddy.